But I suppose the first one to preview is Scotland Ireland, isn't it? Because that's the first one that happens, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
2:15 Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. Yeah. What a game to come! Like this was this is always
huge,
a nervy
huge,
one.
huge.
Murrayfield, tough place to go. The last time we went there, we lost.
Yep, but that was all because of a bus, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
they still talk about that. I call out off the ball. I remember they were hearing that they were talking about that game last time we lost to Scotland. Oh, that was the bus incident, wasn't it? Oh yeah. What a way to buy into a narrative. Like it's just nonsense.
That wasn't what I saw. I remember that game very clearly, and I remember the first kickoff that we gathered. We went to, I believe, Sean O'Brien first. Then
this is very well remembered.
It was Sean O'Brien first. Then it was CJ, and I think it might have been Heaslip.
Okay.
And it was those three in sequence, all chopped behind the gain line, and then we kicked it aimlessly. Out on the full, I believe.
Ireland wouldn't do that.
No, but it was like that. Scotland came there to shut down those ball runners. We ran with them exclusively. Got found wanting in that first half for being a little bit one-dimensional. Yeah, arguably a little bit off the pace, but there was more to it than that. Scotland got a lot right.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is very often a thing. Like, to be fair, I don't see it as often from the coaches or the players. I think everyone's kind of in the same wavelength now, where Murrayfield is not a place people want to go and play, so they prepare accordingly. More so than in years gone by, where there's still that dismissive element, and you do hear it out of a lot of casual Six Nations fans, where it's just like, even in forecast land, where you're going like, oh god, that's a tough game against England, and then we'll beat Scotland, and it's just like, you know that we're home against England, and like away against Scotland is a tough game, you know.
But teams didn't go to Dublin and win now before this weekend, but teams don't go to Murrayfield and win very often. South Africa did it last November. The All Blacks did it by the skin of their teeth.
They very nearly lost it. Yeah.
But in the Six Nations, they've beaten Ireland, they've beaten Wales, they've beaten England, they've beaten France, beaten Italy. They've beaten them all over the last. They haven't lost, I don't think. They have a winning record against just about everybody in the Townsend, Vern Cotter era.
Yeah, and that's well earned, because they always play phenomenal, dangerous rugby that is more, and they've been a serious injection of pace into what was a stagnant Six Nations tournament. I'm always indebted to this Scotland team, to Gregor Townsend specifically, for creating that, because that shape that Scotland attack by just creates new problems that really challenges the defensive systems that tend to be prevailing in this part of the world.
For years and years prior to that, there was always like in the Declan Kidney era of Ireland, the Six Nations was routinely contested between Wales and England. Yeah, in just the most ugly and dour of fashions. In these really, attritional, one-dimensional, slow games,
narrow games.
And
there's like a whole half of the pitch that's not being explored ball in hand, because everyone's smashing narrow.
And consequently, when they did come up against the Southern Hemisphere teams,
who stand a little deeper, who go a little wider.
Just cut the defenses, these great defenses that were impossible to break down. That was the stuff of poetry and lore in springtime was exposed as pretty blooming useless around November time and June time. And that, like, what Scotland have done is like been a little Australia in the Six Nations. So they've checked teams like you did with England last year. You just quick attack. We're going to go inside you. We're going to go outside you. We're going to go from our own 22. We're not going to drop the ball. We're not slow. You're actually going to have to be numbered up and be alert. Otherwise, we're going to go. We're going to get it up and go some.
And that's been such good value and added to this tournament immeasurably. And
added to all the teams in the Six Nations when they do have to play Southern Hemisphere teams. The value of it for Northern Hemisphere rugby.
I also think it's kind of been a little bit of a spark that's rekindled some of France. Like, France are less slow than they used to, at least now when they're making those mistakes that we were highlighting. They're trying to be quick with it. Like, they're trying to be flashy and make it unstructured. I'm fully in the camp of the line of thought that Scotland are the team that has sparked that over the last 5 years.
I think so. Glasgow, starting with Gregor
Starting with Glasgow, and moving on, filtering all the way up. And that being said, they are serious value for scoring tries, danger all over the park. I think Ireland are going to beat them. I think we're going to beat them in quite a boring fashion, but I think we're probably going to just bully them to dominate physically, like in all the ways that weren't on show this weekend. I suspect that will go that way.
It would be no solution to the problems that were exposed last week, which aren't going to go away.
I don't believe this is going to be a game for solving any of those problems.
Well, I think they're running out of games to do it ahead of the World Cup, and it could, come up. Like, we forget, like, that Ireland England game is going to be harked on for a while.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to remember it. Irish fans and Irish media are going to be talking about it all year.
Yeah.
You know, in advance even of World Cup quarterfinals, no matter how well things go, there's going to be, you know, that niggling doubt.
And similarly for England, that's going to be one that they'll be able to hearken to as well.
Even more so a big loss, you know, weighs on the psyche of people. And it's just a loss where, you know, you're doing what you usually do and it gets exposed. And that's the point is, you know, like the 2015, Ireland, when Ireland got beaten by Argentina in 2015, they had been defending like that without being caught for a while. And Ireland have been attacking quite attritionally for a while without having that extra option to go to. So I would like to see Ireland. I don't know. We obviously don't know what the selection's going to be, but I would like to see. Certainly, I would like to see, just stylistically, matchup wise, and for experience, I'd like to see Chris Farland there, just because you know, Scotland can be quite brittle in that channel.
You want to test them in the centres.
You want him running at Hugh Jones all day. And he also actually has a great pair of hands on him, so he can offload the ball. And
especially with Ringrose out, I think it forces that option.
Yes,
I would sooner see that than the Henshaw, Aki, both of them in the centre, which is much more one-dimensional.
I would much rather see Chris Farland there. Agreed. Probably with Henshaw at 12. I think they should abandon Henshaw at 15. I think maybe that feelings on that perfectly clear.
Yes, we have. But in the context of this little mini video, yes, Henshaw at 15, not for us. Please don't make him do it again. He's one of my favourite centres. Nobody defends the 12 channel like him. So maybe sometimes Shaughnessy, but he really
Crotty
does
as well.
Crotty as well. Actually, is a good point. But he shuts down space like few others, and he's phenomenal at it. But he's found wanting much more from that 15 role. Plus, we have other options who play there.
I want to
spend
see
game time there.
I want to see Jordan
It's
Larimer.
Probably going to be Carney back in there, I would suspect.
It could be. That'd be interesting, but certainly, as the Henshaw's an option. I would love to see Joey Carberry get a go, just because, I've gotten shtick, in fact, over the season as it's progressed on this podcast for being the doubter of Carberry, and it's confined purely to Carberry as a 10 and some of the instincts he has and his capacity to get a little loose and get a little isolated. But from fullback, I've just never had a doubt. Every time he's played there, he's been brilliant. I would love to give him a go in a test match. This test match especially, Carberry against Hogg. Scotland, for all of the attack, one of the things that they do is they torture you with kicks. They will. Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg will kick it all day, and they'll kick it. They'll show you a million different pictures of types of kicks. They have them all, bad and good. And, they will if they see you shooting up. If you present Finn Russell with a picture of a winger up and spacing behind, he'll attack it. Because he's just that kind of guy.
It's two different approaches to ball in hand, which is what makes it a stylistic matchup to treasure, really, in terms of how the game's played and that ongoing experiment. Because in Scotland, such a premium is placed on the killer play in that moment, and that can be off phase 1 or phase 2. But they're empowering their playmaking players to read that and then try and execute. And it was a perfect example at the weekend with that pullback pass to Finn Russell. The picture he was given was not good. His two centres were numbered up. There were centres on him, and then the absolutely crazy 40-yard floater pass that wasn't on, instantly shaped and kicked across field because that was the option on. There's such a premium placed on just score the try. If there's a pass or a kick that can go in that can result in a try it. Whereas in Ireland, that's the opposite.
It's possession.
It's possession. So it's whenever you feel like the try is on, their instinct is to go back into contact, which is it's found wanting when you get a run into a team like England, like they did, who are going to smash them all day, and then you can't go over the gain line automatically, and then suddenly all your pretty pictures and pretty kind of options come from there. This is a game where I feel like we're more inclined to be certainly won't be as smashed back to anywhere near the same extent, because I just don't think Scotland are anywhere near as physical as that particularly physical English side. But it's going to be who's going to be dictating the pace is going to be very important, because there's such a difference between
one of
both
the
teams' pace.
huge areas, as well as Ireland's offensive breakdown and Scotland's defensive breakdown. Scotland are a great turnover team. I think you would want to see Josh Strauss starting if you're a Scot,
and especially on the evidence of last week's performance.
Exactly. He's in form, and outside of McAnally and maybe Gilchrist, you don't really have many poach men in there, and Josh Strauss needs to be that guy
doing it,
and that's crucial, because that's how Australia stopped Ireland in the first test.
It's also a lot of their game is built around putting Hamish Watson into that position when he's there as well, so you want to have some.
Strauss is as capable.
He's
very capable.
Just make sure he understands that's his role, and then have him go out and do it.
from Ireland's perspective, obviously, I was talking World Cup wise. There's a problem; it needs to be fixed. I would like to see them throw some playmakers onto the field. I think that, as harsh as it is to isolate individuals, I think that for Ireland, they got to ask themselves now about ahead of the World Cup if Keith Earls is going to be the right winger, because it's no coincidence that even though he played well against the All Blacks, and England, they didn't kick to Stockdale once. They didn't kick to Stockdale. And Stockdale has his issues, but they thought Earls was the matchup.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Yeah.
And while it didn't really work for the All Blacks, it came off trumps, admittedly, with no Carney for England. Earls, as well as that, made the errors shooting in. He's always had that little shooter instinct in defence, which
is not unique to him. A lot of wingers do that, but you're weighing that up. Like I think for someone his size and thing, he possesses above average ball handling skills in terms of catching the ball,
for sure,
but has a load of physical disadvantages, as namely height for one, compared to a lot of modern wingers.
He also does when he makes those errors, he used to have the quickest turn of pace to catch it. He doesn't have that speed anymore.
Yeah,
he's probably comparable now, I would say, to Fergus McFadden in terms of what he brings.
Yeah,
lot of hustle. He'll stick to the game plan. There's a lot to love about him, and his attitude and everything else. But just attributally speaking, as a winger, what are you like? There's so many elite wingers out there.
There's a lot of people agog and aghast last year, going like, "Oh my God, Stockdale's a phenomenon, a phenom. Like he keeps scoring tries," and I'm going like, "Yeah." Imagine having two wingers like that.
Yeah.
Imagine having a winger on either side who just grabs tries. Yeah. And Earls is not that guy, but we do have guys who do,
well, I would like to see Larmour. I think Larmour, the centre option intrigues me, obviously, that Andy Dunn was speaking about, but as a fullback, I don't know yet. I've seen him, I've seen him look a little isolated from there. Counter-attacking wise, I just don't think he links up that well. Bizarrely, as good as he likes to beat men and as quick as he doesn't actually have that link-up play in him.
Well, he does flick long passes when he has that much space, but I know what you're talking about.
No, he just sort of tries to, sometimes he goes okay, low, you make the play. Sometimes he's I'll try and make the play, but very rarely does he actually draw a man or
there's that argument.
I would like to see Larmour at the wing.
Yeah, that's an argument certainly this week, but then just questioning some of these calls as well, because we were persisting last weekend with sending Earls up to chase box kicks that were admittedly inaccurate from Conor Murray's end, but he was going up against players taller than him. You're making the point Adam Byrne is the best player we have at fielding those high balls, and very physically big enough to do it, has a great leap on him. If we're going to play that game, why not have Adam Byrne there?
Yeah, if Ireland want to exit with the Murray box kick, which is an if, I would like to see them have other ways of exiting.
I'd like to mix it up a bit, go wide.
Certainly, if they want to play the Earls game, if they want to play the box kicking game,
is Earls the best guy to do that?
A lot of that game has been based, on the precision of Sexton and Murray with those kicks. In terms of our hustle in the air, we're good, but we're not actually the best in the world in that department anymore. You would have said in times gone by, Shane Horgan, certainly Rob Kearney is up there in the elite athlons, but outside of him, no, that's not actually where our strengths are. We do it because of the precise kicking. But if we do an exit that way, he's in the squad. Adam Byrne is
he's built
far and away the best.
He's
in the
probably
country
more defensively suspect than Earls. In fact, he's definitely more defensively suspect than Earls.
That's my point. Is that if your answer to the question, is Keith Earls going to play at right wing for Ireland in the World Cup? If your answer to that question is a definite yes, I just would find that very curious. I don't know on what basis. There's always the chance he can get injured, but he's slowing down. Attributally, he's losing his matchups. He's that's going to keep happening.
He's not finding tries.
He's not finding tries,
which is what your winger should be doing.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, is that as much as Ireland could revert to type and win this game, you just clean out the offensive breakdown, dictate the tempo. When Scotland make a mistake, they don't get the ball back for another 10 minutes, and Ireland are just dictating everything. Ruthless machine is going. Sexton and Murray are playing well. That could happen, but those problems that England exposed need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And actually now, I don't think they have a realistic chance of winning the tournament after 5-0. I mean, it would take an amount of results. They need to start thinking about these as sort of competitive warm-up matches. This is a perfect warm-up match, because every opponent has every incentive to play their full game.
Yeah.
But you can trick around, you can do different things, you can show different shapes, you can experiment. Robbie Henshaw at 15 was an experiment, and I think one that needs to be abandoned. Let's try Carberry, let's try Larmour as a winger. Let's blood guys and throw new shapes and throw new styles of play, and expand our game and give teams different things to worry about, even if it doesn't quite go right. I think Ireland need to do that ahead of the World Cup, because
we've zeroed in on a few things that have never, our pictures for scoring tries. We were complimentary of Leinster and the myriad different ways they can score a try. They can do it in seemingly in any way. Ireland, you don't think so. There are a few glaring gaps. Kick return, like what Stewie Hogg brings to Scotland. We rarely do that, and yet we do have the men to do that. Larmour and Carberry, devastating from kick return in the backfield, and do so for club very regularly, but not for country, because it's not part of the system.
It's a bit of an aside, but I'm worried about Leinster this year precisely because they look more like Ireland than they do like Leinster this year. Than last year they looked like the Chiefs and Leinster moulding together. This year they look very much like Ireland. We hold the ball, we possession, we strong, and I think it's an aside because this is Six Nations time, but I think that could come up.
Yeah, it could come up as just as once you lose the physical game, that kind of game plan goes very bad very quickly, and it's you need to have tools on the pitch, players on the pitch who can change that. And Ireland are very rigid at the moment in not being able to do that. So which is why the danger lies here if the Murrayfield factor becomes a thing, if we're slightly inaccurate, if Scotland do capitalise early doors.
They start turning us over and scoring tries, and that's going to be huge for them. Their turnover game is going to be massive because Ireland will want to hold the ball. In terms of fielding the kicks, I don't think they're going to have too many problems. I think Kinghorn against Daragh is another very poor matchup.
Yeah, indeed. Kinghorn's a fullback who plays that aerial game.
So certainly, if we try to pop kicks down that channel, I don't see it. They could. It's for Ireland. It's going to be about up forward smashy smash and giving their halfbacks a platform to play well. Murray being sharper and quicker and putting more of those killer passes on.
James Ryan being less absent, which there was actually we didn't note that in the England one, but James Ryan was shut out there. I don't think that'll be the same picture this time. No. I think he's actually very impactful. The Edinburgh pack will have
from
a lot to do.
A converse perspective, it's a nice little test for Scotland because. I think they're actually still underrated a little bit. That pack. I think I love the second row combination. Tulis and Gilchrist. I think they're class. The pair of them. They bring such different things. They have great shapes to them. They're strong men. They work really, really hard. They both their games have improved exponentially over the last year.
Yes.
And it's just there's excitement all over that Scotland team. Yeah, WP Nell against Healy is a fascinating. At the scrum for all of their scrum improvements, it's a fascinating test for them again. It's a big
test for them again, and it could go wrong for them. We'll
probably
see.
On Dell's side, you'd have more worries perhaps than Nell's, but
it's certainly in terms of building their Six Nations campaign.
Also,
it's a good test, but it's one of those impasses because they're going to have 2 weeks to stew and sit on it if it should go their way or not. And
no dev for Ireland.
No dev for Ireland.
So that's
lineouts
huge. Let's attack those lineouts all day. So Scotland, there's a lot. What happened there?
I don't know. Something slipped.
There's a lot of opportunities there for Scotland to exploit. And then the other thing is just let's get that tempo as frantic and as crazy as it was.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the telling thing. First 20 minutes, who's setting the pace? They'll win the game. And that's my kind of take on this game. I'll be looking intently at those first 20 minutes to see who is the one setting the pace, who's the one getting the ball, who's the one turning the opposition defensive line. I'm hopeful for Ireland, but I can see many pictures in which it goes wrong, and it is regrettable that we're the side that if it's slow and steady and plodding, that we're going to get the better of that, which is the state it's in. I suspect we might be a bit too physical for them, but I do I
certainly don't think that is as sure a thing as it would have been in years gone by.
No,
they have a much more capable pack. The Hamish Watson thing is huge, but
that's part of my concern with it. But I'm also off the back of that defeat. Had we managed to win that game against England, if there was a different game that entirely, because we were nowhere near it, I would be more fearful of this game. Whereas I kind of feel
I back the response factor
to be a thing, and I do think we are in terms of who's the superior side. I think we're the more developed superior side. We haven't become a terrible side overnight as a result of that loss.
No.
Although a lot of fundamental problems in the systems were revealed. I don't think Scotland are the side to properly test us on those
test us
errors.
on some things.
They'll test us on do you know what? Finn will have a job in terms of getting to the outside shoulder of that blitz defence. It'll be some passing game, but if they're
also,
losing collisions
the kicking game as well. They'll test us all over, and I think for every team that plays Scotland, it's a scary game, especially in Murrayfield. It's just a scary game.
I can see many ways that Scotland can get dividends, and I can see many ways that Ireland can get dividends. But it's certainly not a one-sided affair.
No, absolutely
it's a great Six Nations contest.
It is, and as you say, a worthy clash of styles.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching that video. If it's your first time here, please leave a like and subscribe down below, and leave a comment as well if you enjoyed it, because we enjoyed the conversation.